Welcome back to the Viking build, where today we're actually jumping inside the cab here and we're going to start looking at steering and brake setup. So if you saw the last video, we got these inner fenders mounted up, trimmed up, all installed, all of that. So now that I have this in here, I can see how much room I have for Hydro Boost and steering column. Now this truck from factory had a floor mounted brake pedal. Went through the floor under this cardboard here to a master cylinder mounted under the floor, and that was just the way they did it. So I want to convert this to a firewall mounted brake pedal to match up with my Hydro Boost from the Cummins that I'm putting on the firewall. So they do make firewall mounted brake pedal kits, but I'd have to modify them to work with my Hydro Boost. So I figured I may as well just use something that I have and modify it anyway. This right here is a brake pedal assembly out of this is actually out of an 89 Suburban, but it's a square body style. So anything from the 80s would have been the same brake pedal setup. And this is the Hydro Boost off of the Cummins. So the interesting thing here is this hole actually is the perfect size to fit on the pin for the brake pedal. So that works out well. However, my distance from here to here is different than here to here. So this will need to be shortened. It needed to be shortened anyway to fit it in the dash. But also this bolt pattern is wrong. So I'll need to be modifying these pads on the end here to fit and bolt into here. Obviously this has studs and this has studs, so the studs will come out of this. We'll just have holes with nuts on the inside. And then this whole front part's going to have to be rebuilt to match up with the dash and mount up under the dash. Right now I'm currently brainstorming because my Hydro Boost is probably going to be right here. And as you can see, I have an elevation change. There's these factory, whatever you want to call them, to strengthen the firewall. But that makes it very inconvenient for mounting my Hydro Boost. So I need to think of something to kind of flatten this area out so I have a nice flat surface to mount to, as well as on the back side I want a nice flat surface, something that I can also brace, because people say when you put a firewall mounted brake pedal, you need to brace it because the firewall isn't built strong enough to hold the brake pedal when you're actually stomping on the brakes. So we'll have to figure out a way to brace it and make it strong, but I'm sure I'll come up with something here shortly. lot of thinking and fabricating, this is what I've come up with. So I cut a 1/4 inch plate to go in that low section of the firewall. It fits just around inside there. It just brings that lower level up to the same level as this top level, so I can weld it all in solid and I can pretty much smooth it down, and it should be just a smooth flat panel and you won't even notice once it's all painted. Then as we come in here, we have this square body brake pedal. It just has some angle iron welded on it to match up to the holes of the Dodge master cylinder. Goes on both sides there. And then you can see you have the rod coming right out of the master cylinder. It hooks onto the square body brake pedal. Coincidentally, they're actually the same size. That pin is a 1/2 inch pin, and the Dodge master cylinder has the right size holes, so it's a perfect fit. And then this puts the pedal in what I think is going to be a pretty good spot. It's hard to know without seats and without a gas pedal. I will be doing the gas pedal soon, so I can confirm that this pedal's in a good spot, but I think it should be okay. Now, the only thing I'm running into now is the thing that people were saying about putting a firewall mounted brake pedal in these trucks. So when you do a firewall mounted brake pedal in these things, you need to brace the firewall somehow, because the firewall will flex when you get into a hard braking situation, because these things just weren't built to have a firewall mounted brake pedal. So as you can see, I just put this 2x4 in here, and when I push on the pedal, and you probably can't even tell on camera, but when you push on it, this comes down, it flexes the firewall out like this, and then it also actually even pushes this dash bar down a little bit too. So I'll be bracing from this 1/8 inch plate I have sandwiched between this bracket and the firewall. I'll be bracing up to the cowl, basically where the original bracket was. You can see where it was before, where I drilled out the spot welds, right there and right there. So I'll be bracing upwards, which should strengthen the firewall. And then I may have to do another one from the top of this bracket up to the bottom of the cowl, just to stop this upward movement coming up here. So we'll do a little bit of bracing here, and we'll see if that stiffens up the firewall. Here is the final version of the brake pedal. So as you can see, we have the square body mount in here, shortened up to meet up with the dash bar and the firewall. Then we have that 1/8 inch plate that I put in to sandwich the two. We have these 1 inch square tubing bars that run up to the cowl right there. You can see they bolt into the cowl. in roughly the same spot as where that factory bracket was that I cut out. Then that puts the pedal in a pretty decent spot. It's tough to tell if that's exactly where I want it to be because I don't have a gas pedal or a seat yet. Once I have those, I can kind of see what feels good with your foot. And coming out here, we have that 1/4-inch plate tacked into the firewall. Once the cab gets pulled back off and all that, I will welding this all the way around, grinding it down, sanding it smooth. Basically, you won't even be able to tell that there's a plate in there other than the fact that it goes smooth straight across right there. So with the brake pedal done, now the next thing I'm going to move into is the steering column. Now, I don't know if I've showed this on video before, but this is a column out of an early to mid 70s GM van because I wanted a tilt column. As you can see, this one is. But there's no ignition on this column because I wanted to keep it in the dash, same spot as the original 59. So finding a tilt column without a key for an automatic shift is a little tough to find, but those 70s vans are perfect for this because they have all those options that you need. All right, so we have the steering column roughly mounted here. I drilled the hole right above this crease in the firewall where it starts to go straight up. That seemed to be about the right spot to get the column at a nice angle and to put it at a decent spot coming out of the firewall on the other end. Then what I did, I took the factory 59 mount. I took probably 1.5 inches off of it because it actually used to bolt in right here. Took about 1.5 inches off of it, shortened it down, welded a piece, or just tacked it in to the bottom of my brake pedal bracket here, just so I had a flat surface to mount this to. And yeah, the factory 59 mount, it fits perfectly around the 2-inch steering column. Bolted that on. I only have the one bolt holding it in right now until I get a bottom mount situated and I figure out the angle of it. But this does seem to work pretty well. And coming out here, I am going to try and find a factory lower mount for a 67 to 72 Chevy truck, because it'll bolt onto the firewall right there, and then it has a piece that sticks out over the column and then a clamp that mounts to the actual column itself. Haven't been able to find one of those, and I think it's a pretty tough thing to try and build myself. So I'm probably going to wait until I can find one of those. Also, I cut this hole like this because this linkage needs to fit through that hole. So you need some sort of an oblong hole, and this should fit the shape of a firewall grommet for, again, a 67 to 72 Chevy truck. That's roughly the shape of it. So again, I need to find one of those grommets and trim this to fit that grommet as well. And now this column ends up in a pretty decent spot to match up with my Dodge intermediate shaft. I'll need to figure out some sort of shaft extension. But as you can see, the fuel filter housing actually seems to get very close to the steering column. So I probably will end up doing a filter housing delete and either doing a lift pump, probably a FAS, or I will relocate and put a filter elsewhere. Also, I need to convert the 48RE shift cable to work with this linkage style shifter on the column. Now I know you can get universal kits on Amazon, so if anybody's got any experience with those, let me know, because I'll probably end up buying a kit for this because you need kind of a clamp on setup onto the steering column, and it just looks like something that would be easier to just buy it and try to modify it to make it work with this. That is gonna do it for today's video. I'm happy to see we got some of the interior stuff worked out here. We're getting the steering column and a brake pedal in here. Exciting stuff, seeing the driver controls getting put in. I still need to mount a gas pedal, obviously. I still want to mount the factory Dodge park brake pedal in here, so that might be what I do next. We need to order some parts for the steering column, as you saw, a bracket and a shifter linkage adapter kit and a grommet. So while I'm waiting on those to show up, I'll either do this park brake pedal or I will jump into mounting the intercooler and the condenser setup, because all those parts have arrived. I have a condenser and intercooler and dual fans, so I might end up trying to mount those in the front behind the bumper like you saw on the last video there. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see more on this thing. Be sure to like this video, it'll help out a ton. And comment down below if you have any experience with those cable to linkage transmission shifters. I'd love to hear your experience with them. So with all that being said, we'll see you guys in the next one.